Hello and welcome to part 2 of our early preview version of Frostpunk 2. So in the last episode we passed our first law and kind of got a little bit of a grip on the basics of the game, so hopefully we'll be able to continue doing that going forward. Let's have a little look at our situation. So we've got a little bit of heat stamps income. We managed to pass our law about food additives, so that should hopefully mean that we use a little bit less of our food. We've got a good stockpile going, very nice, which will at least last us for another 46 weeks, so let's just keep going. We're going to put it down to normal speed now that we're no longer waiting for our heat stamps, and we'll have a little look around. So we need to build a logistics district in one of the old way stations, which I imagine is, yep, this thing over here, so we need to clear this out. How are we doing for frost breaking? We need a little bit more heat stamps, so we need to get a little bit more of the money coming in, and then we should hopefully be okay. This is quite cool. We've got a little tunnel going on here over this frozen ground. Hopefully we'll be able to expand out this extraction district. Doesn't actually look like we can, so we'll need to build another one at some point just in order to cover this little bit of frozen forest. That's good to know for the future. So we have limited sizes that we can expand out to. So now let's break our way over to here. There we go, excellent. There's no real other resources, so we'll just clear out a little bit more of the ground and we'll get that going. Fantastic. Having a little look at our city, so we're okay. We're stockpiling coal, we're stockpiling goods now, we have a little bit of a surplus. Our materials are unfulfilled, so we will need to think about building another of our extraction districts over this frozen forest. Is there any other frozen forests around here? We've got some iron ore here that we can use for materials as well, which we could use our ground breakers in order to get to, and then that would also give us access to this fertile ground up here, which could potentially be good as well. Be interesting to see what the adjacency bonuses are between the food districts. We kind of saw before, if we try and build our food district next to our manufacturing or our extraction area, they weren't too happy, it seemed like. So we'll need to keep that in mind. As for the research, let's have a little look here. So we've got our sawmill. These do require some more heat things, so we'll need to wait until we have 50 heat stamps and we'll have another look at that, because I'd be quite interested to build another building over here in order to keep our raw materials coming in. And there we go, we've managed to break our way through there. Very nice. Yeah, it does seem like the 300 weeks sounds like a lot when you're coming into the game, but in actual fact it's not that much. We've already nearly gone for an entire year now, but I suppose it's a couple of year gameplay. You get a little bit of an access into it. It'd be interesting to see what more of the map we can unlock. Obviously we have our little city here in the surrounding cavern that we are in, but it'll be interesting to know what will happen next. What is this logistics district? This one here, that requires quite a lot of heat stamps, but does output a bunch of Frostland teams. Okay, so we're going to have to just wait until the heat stamps come. Oh, there's been an event. Let's have a little look. So this is from a street urchin. Cindy's pa went and got her a governess, like she's going to be a duchess or something. Not on our watch, we roughed up the little bitch, alright. Ferguson's boys will learn this too. If they try and wife us again tonight, we'll pull razors and say we'll cut out their eyes. It'll be good fun. But what we want is a proper rumble. Short blades only. Come on, who wants to play? The lack of a law regulating childhood is causing tension to rise throughout the city. Okay. Good to know. So this is this tension here. Currently it is absent, but is generated by marginal squalor. We've got to remember as well that machinists do have access to another law. I wonder when we get an option to do our next law, if it's kind of like a cooldown or not. We have a slight issue in that squalor is growing, and it's greatly being increased by the material scarcity. So in reality, the best thing we can do is to try and get more materials. So let's have a little look at our research. I saw here there is sawmills here for what we can do. This increases disease, this increases squalor. Again, it seems like the machinists have the advantage of the increased squalor, which is probably bad. That is a massive heat demand. I think we're going to go with the foragers for this one. Increased material output does require more workers, but we should be able to get more of that. Yeah, I think that's okay. Construction cost of 80. Hopefully by the time that is researched, we are able to use that, and then after we've got that, we'll pop that down on our materials district, and then we'll expand out into our old way station here, I reckon. Looking at the graphics, you can actually see the people kind of running about. It does look a little bit strange. I guess this is trying to show you like the ways that people are moving around the city. I did always like in Frostpunk you could sort of see people moving to and from their workplace, even though it didn't necessarily have anything to do with the resource collection. It's just their position for when it came to things like getting to medical tents or for getting food and such like that. but it's quite nice just to sort of see this sort of graphical thing here. Overall, graphics look really nice. I'm kind of impressed by the music as well. Is it better than Frostpunk 1? We'll have to see. There's obviously been nothing quite as good as The City Must Survive that's happened yet, but we'll have to see. So we've got use a grand agenda on machinists. So I guess when we next get our chance to do our law, whenever that is, we will be able to do that. And we can see here that we're currently growing our population still. That's good. How are we doing in terms of our workforce? So we've currently got 4,800 total workforce. We're employing 3,400. We've got an additional 1,400 available. So we'll need to keep a little eye on that. How is our research doing? Yep, we've got 11 weeks left to go until we are going forward, and we do really need to build up these materials. Be nice to see what buildings we'll be able to get in there. I'm guessing we don't have any other buildings that we can build in here, so we've got our grinding coal mine, which we need to use with a coal deposit, as we have with this extraction. Yeah, so we can see here that's just extracting the coal. I think, yeah, maybe breaking up into here, into the iron ore here. That is a lot. That's like resources in the millions rather than these sawmills, which are only a couple of thousand. How much do we have left? Well, we've got a fair amount of wood here, actually. We've got 400,000, so it's 311 weeks remaining. So it's more than our playtime if we wanted to just continue with this. I'm going to fast forward slightly. We're going to get a couple more heat stamps here. We'll increase our research quite a bit as well, which will be quite nice, and we might even have the time to just purchase this way station with a logistics district straight off the bat once we get our next tick over, like so. It's quite high in terms of workforce, so we'll build this out here like so, and we'll build that out. As it stands with the frost breaking, not sure what the best angle is to do it. If you want to do it more in a sense of making sure your districts can expand easily, if there's no other resources that you can take there, or if you want to just kind of keep them snaking so you get adjacency bonuses from that. It'll be interesting to see. We've got another thing, a profitable day. First cup were all rags and bones useless, but then there was this woman with real ruby earrings. Ought to cover the arrival fee, I said. The wife will love these. Next is a bunch of strong fellas. I sent them straight to Elaine's place. She'll wring them dry before I get home. Lately there's been a lot less of them. Maybe word is getting around. Got to take advantage of this while it lasts. The lack of a law regulating outsiders is decreasing population growth. Okay, good to know. So I guess they're getting roughed up as they're coming into the city. Probably not what we want. Be interesting to see kind of what's happening. So cold's getting... Hear ye, hear ye, the frost is coming. Yeah, so it's getting colder. What is it now? 30 degrees. So our heat, we've still got a heat surplus. Our generator's doing okay. How is our coal doing? Yeah, so we're still building a stockpile up in coal. That's probably the main thing. I don't know if that's always required. We have to be a little bit careful about our food stockpile as well. It's starting to dwindle slightly. Scour the Frostland. Our logistics district is ready and the Frostland teams stand by for orders. Frostland exploration is now available. I see. Ah, okay, so this is kind of like the scouts from the original game. So let's have a look. We follow the petrified river up through the frost and spotted a sharp bend north of here. Could be an indicator of underground resources, likely oil or gas. I see. Okay. So we can launch expedition. We'll find coal, and it's going to take us a little while. Safe territory, fast chart, few Frostland teams required. So let's launch our expedition here. So we're coming out here, and we think we're going to find some potential things here. There's mountains around here as well. Okay, cool. Well, we'll continue on the valley, and that will be fine by me. If we can find some kind of oil thing, that'd be very nice. And there we are, the untreated wood sawmill. Fantastic. Let's construct that over here. That's going to increase our number of work, and that's us actually out of workforce once we have that completed. Ooh. That came round sooner rather than later, but hopefully our population growth is still going. It is not, because we don't have any common rules for outsiders. The population is staying stagnant. We do have a small surplus for shelters, which is nice. And there seems to be some other event happening here. Feral children. No common rules. Stuart, 5 children are dead and dozens lay wounded after 2 large youth gangs met for what they called a rumble. Most of the children were armed with knives. The fighting escalated to a full-scale battle. As the parents of the deceased mourn, many insist these children should not have been left unattended. Indeed, many backstreet alleys seem to be overtaken by uncared for youth, some areas beginning to be dangerous even for adults. The persistent lack of a law regulating childhood is causing crime and tension to rise even further. Alright, let's commit to doing that. Hopefully, we can use their grand agenda here. So, requires an active council hall. Indestructible. So I'm guessing we're just waiting for this cooldown for our laws. Oh, here we go. Council, there we are. Rule. Okay, this is a new one. Captain's authority, not available in the preview. Okay, good to know. We want to have a little think about our rules. So I'm thinking if we... That's a step towards tradition, a step towards reason. We did promise that the machinists would be allowed to vote on the next law. Okay. I think we're going to have to say to them, nah, you're going to have to go against it. People are divided. Percentage of active workers slightly increased. We do want this. We do want more active workers. Let's propose this law. People are quite hesitant towards it. We could pressure them and that would get it in. I think we do want to do that. We have to say, like, look, this is obviously a big issue in the city. I need you to work with me here and we'll be able to do things more in the future. I think if we negotiated, we'd have to promise a few more things that we could potentially give out. Let's vote. Let's have a wee look. Yep, 73-4, good job. Our pressure seems to have done the work that we needed it to. And the law is passed. Fantastic. And childhood law has been regulated. You kept your promise and evaded unnecessary chaos in the city. Trust rises. Fantastic. So we had a double bonus there. We'll have to see. So the council's in recess for 9 weeks and 2 days. We have 10 weeks to use the grand agenda on the machinists. So we should be able to do that. So I guess this is what this little plus symbol means. It means that you have access to something here. What's this? Logistic bays. Vanguard logistic bays? Or automated logistic bay. Okay. Worker shifts. Weather adjusted shifts, which decreases heat demand and disease is slightly decreased, but resource efficiency is slightly decreased. Squalor is marginally increased and the workforce requirement is slightly decreased. I like the idea of that, if we can develop that. It doesn't cost anything to develop. And it's going to take another 9 weeks as well, so we can kind of keep a little eye on what we're doing. Overall, things aren't going too badly. We're still currently charting out this valley territory. I like what you're getting here with the topographical map. You can see kind of like the mountains and such. How far out does this go? It seems to be quite expansive. Obviously much further than we are going to be able to do in our 300 weeks, but should still be very interesting. Still need to find that source of fuel and establish a food colony. I think establishing a food colony would be very, very useful once we find out some of the territory. As it comes for the temperature, we're about to have another drop to -40, but then we should have another warmer season coming soon, and then a subsequent drop again. So we're going to be sitting at -30, -40 for a while. What's happening here? Outsiders. No common rule. Steward, it seems some of our citizens are profiteering from outsiders trying to get into the city. We caught smugglers with a freezing and disoriented group of people. When warmed, fed, and questions, they spoke of a grim reputation our city has among the survivors in the area. It's the only generator there is, but we've heard stories of what some of the guides do to people trying to get in. After what happened to us, the rumors seem true. Should we do something about it? So this is causing crime to rise. I think we will address this. We have 30 weeks to pass a law. We won't be able to do this in the next one unless the machinists are wanting to have their agenda be used to police the city. We'll have to see. Otherwise, things are progressing rather nicely. Still a little bit concerned about these materials, but we are now having an okay amount. So we've got 360 being outputted. That untreated sawmill has actually worked quite well. Let's have a little look at our extraction. We broke our promise because we didn't actually manage to do it. That's a bit of a shame. They're not very happy with us, it seems. But we can put in a delegate thing here. Machine adjusted shifts. You put less pressure on workers. Workplaces must keep machines powered around the clock. Okay, yeah, no, I actually quite like this. Won't negotiate, already negotiate. 4 partially open to negotiation. Let's see. We want you to vote for. We will fund your projects if you vote with us for this. And do you agree with these terms? Yeah, this is going to put us so that we're above it. quite enjoying this sort of idea for laws in that you're kind of having to do things a little bit more democratically in a sense, and that you're having to work with the delegates of the various people. I imagine this is going to get much harder as well once you get more varying factions. And the law is passed, I see. Excellent. Good stuff. We've managed to get machine adjusted shifts put on the agenda. Overall, people are neutral to us. But that's okay. We've actually got a fair amount of heat stamps saved up, so let's fund their projects. Trust rises with them. They're going to like us a little bit more. Fantastic. Yeah, wise use of public funds. Let's have a little look at this expedition here. So we've got a bunch of things that we found. A meager coal mine. Or what is this? Oil-treated sledges. We stumbled across an abandoned caravan of sledges long since picked clean. Closer inspection revealed wood that had been treated with oil, a crude but effective method of waterproofing. Frozen tracks indicate sledges came from the northeast, so I see this would let us expand a little bit more here. Let's have a little look at this coal mine. And build a trail or a pathway. So connect the trail up. Okay, interesting. So we've got to like build our pathways. Where exactly? Is it over to the city? We can't seem to get it to the city. Unless that was over to the city. Let's just try and see if we can connect it up like that. No, it doesn't seem very happy. Okay, I don't know if we can do that yet. Maybe we need to clear out more of the snow before we're able to make a proper trail. Let's have a little look at these oil-treated sledges. Oh, we have. We gotta look up more here. We don't have enough resources to find out what's happening in this glacier. About these mountains. Not enough resources. We need a bunch more guys who are here to have a little look at these plains. Yeah, let's launch an expedition down here. Maybe we can get some food. That'd be good. What's happening in the city? A new voice, technocrats. I doubted people could sacrifice themselves for prosperity, yet the city managed to create a system where people do it every day. Maybe we can make the city better in other ways too. A city where everyone contributes towards its prosperity equally. A society governed by reason and rational calculation. Oh, how beautiful this city could become. Technocrats form in support of machine-adjusted shifts. Interesting, okay. So a new voice. It's a very small proportion of the city, but they want to progress the city, have equality, and they listen to reason. And they want to pass city development effort, accept all outsiders, mandatory school. I see. Okay, that's interesting, because we do actually want to pass something to do with the outsiders. We are still waiting a little bit for the council as the weather gets a little bit colder again. How are we doing for coal? So we are using quite a bit from the stockpile now, so we're no longer stockpiling things up. What's happening here? Looks at technocrat members leaving the institute. They keep looking at my hands. Every day they come pester me about my work. What are you doing right now? Can we push the other research along? Why are you halting the drafting of the law we discussed yesterday? They want to influence what we do. Technocrats. Technocrats want to steer the city closer to their ideals. Okay, so now we're getting a bunch of different factions coming out. Interesting. We have some research, so we can do some more research. Let's have a little think. Hot houses. We are a little bit running low on food. Big worker. Okay, and that's actually given us another thing. So here we are. We can have chemical drum hot houses. Requires a food district. Squalor's increased. It's got big heat demand. Same as the machinist. So they're both very same. In fact, they are exactly the same. Whereas we have the bio-waste drum hot house, which is revolved around organic waste. So that probably seems a better idea, using that for fertilizer. Disease is slightly increased and heat demand goes up. But yeah, let's develop this one. The foragers are the largest concentration of the city. Very good, let's develop that. We can put that in our food district here, and that should mean that we're able to increase the amount of food we're getting. We actually have a decent amount of workforce now. I think that was thanks to our machine assisted working. We've got our expanded imperial district here as well. Alright, let's have a look at our laws. Something's going on in the economy. Yeah, so this is what we want. So we can increase our population growth, both of them. Productive outsiders sounds quite good in that it'll increase the amount of heat stamps we gain. And it's a small step towards merit. People are divided though. The technocrats do support accept all outsiders, so maybe we should do that. Yeah, let's propose this. What can we do to negotiate? So technocrats will vote for this. The foragers, what could we do? We want you to vote for. So we can either repeal the machine adjusted shifts, give them a coal mine, or grant them an agenda. Yeah, we'll give you an agenda. We aren't... I think we might be able to get through the law at this point. We have enough people for, I think, if we approve that they will get an agenda soon. Yeah, law is supported. 65 delegates are predicted to vote for this law. Okay, yeah, I think we can do this. So we can see here we have the machinists, the foragers, and where are the technocrats? Here we are. Kind of breakaway faction from the machinists, so it's kind of reduced their power slightly. I think we can accept this law. Let's have a little look. So we're voting on outsiders. Yep, so we got 65 for, so it seems like you just need a majority vote in order to pass these laws, and quite a few people are voting for. Fantastic, we've passed the law. We've regulated that all outsiders are allowed in, and that should hopefully help us with the crime that we're having, or at least the crime boom we were having. Fantastic. There's a new law available, and it's in recess for a little while. What's happening here? City grows, population grows. Steward, a new count has revealed significant growth in our population in recent weeks. Some attribute the rise to the influx of settlers from the Frostland, others to births outnumbering deaths. Wherever the cause, we've adjusted our calculations for the city needs to reflect the new numbers. I see we have a bunch more people, and that gives us a bunch more workers. We're going to slow down the speed a little bit here. We're on week 96. So we are ticking along quite nicely. Let's see if we can build anything in the logistics area. A food depot. Requires a food extraction industry. Okay, so that just increases our food stockpile. Speaking of food, okay, we really need to think about what's happening with our food. Did we research that? No. Right, let's expand our district here. We want to try and make sure that we're expanding this out and probably get our frost breakers up here towards both the, not only these materials that are sitting here, yeah, which we will definitely make sure we get out, also to this fertile ground here. Now that we have the population in place to do so, how are our guys out here in the plains? They're not quite yet done. They've still got quite a little while to chart that out. That's fine. So there does seem to be a bit of a juggling going on there. Let's see, it looks... So hunger is growing because of the food scarcity. Hopefully people will be happy enough just due to the fact that we are producing enough goods, but if we don't produce enough food, they're not going to be very chuffed with us. We'll speed up the game just a little bit until we get these bits done here. So that should be our food district done. And we cleared this out. So let's now clear out this food district over here. Fantastic. Cross break that out, and we'll probably build another food district over there. How are we doing for this? So we've got a bit of food remaining. I guess these do eventually run out, is the issue. Yeah, we're still waiting for our hothouses to finish. Once we have our hothouse finished and we're able to get them both in here and in our other food district, I'm sure we'll be fine. What's happening here? An old enemy, Steward. It was only a matter of time. We had an unusually long streak of mild weather, but now meteorologists are clear. There's a familiar drop in air pressure at higher altitudes. A whiteout is coming. The wind will cause extreme cold. The clouds will blot out the sun. Without shelter and ample fuel, our people will be at mortal risk. We have to prepare. A whiteout arrives in 80 weeks. Heat demand will greatly increase during the whiteout. We will be ready. So these are like the storms, I guess, from before in the original Frostpunk. So we're going to have to keep this in mind. We have unfulfilled housing requirements, so let's build out our houses. We've got nearby houses here. Yeah, we'll build that out. Fantastic. They're around the generator. They should hopefully be okay. We can't give a new law just quite yet. We're still exploring out, but that's absolutely fine. We've got to try and build up these colonies as well. It'll be interesting to see what we can do about these roads. Maybe we can build them out in a certain way. What's happening here? Ouch, my finger. These fucking spindles. Mrs. Boss Lady keeps joking I'll fall asleep and get woken up by a prince. I don't get it. If a prince comes near me, I'll rob him blind, then make him do the bloody spinning. But it's alright. Gonna beat my record today. Strong, nice yarn. Annie Mabel says, if I can weave, I can work with her at the mill. Beats freeze in the streets. Family apprenticeships promises a better future for children in the city. Okay, so this is our lovely little child workers. Fair enough, we can get them in the mills. It's what they want, after all. We're not being unkind. That's what we're going to tell ourselves anyway. So we're still waiting for some heat stamps so we can get this second foragers site up. We did quite a bit of expansion there. Out of the frosted ground.
Technicians are on their way.
Little town crier going out as well. Very, very nice. How are we doing? So we're still waiting a little bit. We'll just speed up time as we're just waiting for things to take over. Obviously, this is an early preview. I'm quite enjoying this so far. I think the UI does need some work, but obviously that's something they're going to do with a little bit of playtesting, probably from this. Okay, so we've got a new law proposal available. So I'm pretty sure we promised the foragers that they would be able to do something. So how do we do that? Use grand agenda on the foragers. Or grant agenda. So if we pick the foragers, here we go. So we grant agenda with the foragers like that. Delighted you kept your word. They now look upon your rule with more positivity and consider you a leader. Fantastic. Trust rises. Unregulated worker shifts. So workplaces need to determine their own working hours depending on their specific needs. The law is currently supported, they're for or against. I'm not sure we really care about this too much. I think we're just happy for this to go to vote. Let's have a little look. 51 for, 51 required. So it seems like the foragers have all come together and they've got a little bit of a breakaway from the other parties and the law has passed, I see. Okay, so I guess that'll probably do better for our workers in that they will have a chance to... I hope they didn't propose something stupid. I hope they didn't either. Not sure what we're doing, but comes with the territory when I'm in charge. Right, let's build up another food district over here. So we'll get our food like so. And we'll build it up here. And that should hopefully mean that we get rid of our deficit here. We'll speed up a little bit. We'll see what's happening in the Frostlands once we've done charting our expedition. And we've finished our biowaste drum hothouse. Fantastic. Let's have a little look, see what else we can research. What are these filtration towers? So these decrease squalor, which we do need a little bit of ventilation towers. Squalor's decreased, has a bit of a heat demand, but we're doing okay for coal so far. Yeah, I think we're okay with this. Yeah, let's give it to the machinist for this one. We'll research that. We want to try and get the squalor down as much as we can. It's only minor, but it's caused by this grinding coal mine. How are we doing? We've still got a bunch of coal coming out of there. Fantastic. This hasn't quite managed to fulfill our need for our food. So let's get this built over here. Like so, and that should get it so that our food is now full, and we should start storing that up. What's happening up over here? The city is changing. We started a family here. We bore children. We toiled against the hardship like everybody else. But now these technocrats, they work around telling people what to do, what to think. What they spout, though, is utter folly against everything made us. We will not have it. The fate of our children is at stake. We will chart the path for our city. Ice Bloods have formed in opposition to the technocrats. Interesting. And the foragers have come over here. Hardened survivalists, they recruit from the most resilient and capable individual city. This is a manifest. Adaptation, merit, tradition. I see. Okay, so they're kind of like another breakaway from the foragers. There's not that many of them. 7% versus technocrats. 8. The machinists do not like us. Can we make them a promise? Okay, we could also request funds from them. We might do that from the foragers. Hey, you love us. Give us some money, would you? Cheers. Thank you very much. Something else happened over here. Nothing lost. Steward, our bio-waste drum hothouse has begun cooperating with people who forage for food additives in the Frostland on top of the regular duties to provide it with leaves, animal carcasses and feces in order to enrich its compost. This will no doubt increase our food output. Bio-waste drum hothouse produces more food thanks to foraged additives. Okay, cool. So there's a little bit of interaction between the laws that you make and what's happening with your buildings as well. Good to know. Let's see, I'll have a look here. Ration bunker. The door to a bunker glinted in the snow, revealing a massive hoard of rations. This could provide steady stream of food. Let's have a look. Hey, yeah. Arranging a harvesting area. Fantastic. Okay, cool. Good work, guys. So could we then construct a trail over to here? No. Over to where? So... oh, okay, so this is a trail coming here. So this is the Frostland teams coming out. They're building up a trail, I guess, over to here, which is our bit here. I should have maybe had a little look at that a little bit better, but I thought I was missing something. Let's have a little look at our laws. So we currently have unregulated worker shifts, which is what the adaptation guys have just done. Look at our goods. So a small step toward adaptation, and the goods efficiency would be increased if we did this. People are divided. We've got the machinists and the technocrats wanting mass-produced goods, whereas these are wanting durable goods. Potentially lowering the demand is better than producing more. We can always just add more production, whereas this at least will decrease it. Then again, this is a significant increase. Small step towards progress. Yeah, let's propose this. Let's see what we can negotiate for. People are divided. We got 39 for, 29 against. Yeah, so they won't vote for this. It's against their worldview. Technocrats will vote for this. Machinists are mostly for. Let's see what we can do with the forwarded. Okay, what can we do? Enact policy expedition support. You know what? I kind of want that, because that's going to increase our ability to explore a little bit by decreasing the exploration time. Let's try and do that. Okay, yeah, good. I think we can agree on that. We'll agree to their terms, and let's vote for it, boys. What say ye? 72-4. Fantastic. There we go. Mass-produced goods are on the table. Exactly what we want. We passed the law. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got to remember that we are promising quite a bit to people. But I think this is going to go quite well. And once we get this railroad finished, hopefully that'll mean that we're able to start to harvest a little bit more of this coal mine. How are we doing on coal, actually? Let's have a little look. We are not stockpiling anything, and we do know that there's a whiteout coming soon. Not good, not good. Okay, we need to start breaking towards this other coal. Start harvesting that out. Yeah, let's just harvest this coal, please. Thank you very much. Once we get that frost breaking done. Okay, well, I mean, we've certainly stockpiled the food. We have a lot of food coming in now. Thank you very much to that hothouse. I think we get another coal area up. We've got a little bit of disease, a bit of squalor. Okay, we're going to have to keep that in mind. And we build another thing for the housing, another research institute. This does increase the research speed. I think we will. Speaking of housing, we are still unfulfilled slightly, so we do need to build another housing district. Good to know. So we can actually do it so that it's sharing a little bit and actually helping out with these guys as well. Okay, so you kind of do want to bundle your districts up, the ones that are together. The food ones want to be near the housing want to be near the food, just so you get the most benefit out of the two of them. Good to know. Additionally, it seems to be the same with the industrial district and the extraction districts. They kind of want to be close together, just so they get a little bit of a benefit. We're still currently getting food. That'll be why our food is so good. And what about over here? We need more resources in order to construct this. Have we finished up that railway? It does kind of look like it, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that railway is now finished. So if we pull our guys off of foraging, how do we do that? So yeah, we're gonna pull our guys off and we'll construct this outpost. Okay, cool. So that's us done that. People are sick and unable to work, so disease is starting to grow a little bit. That's because people are cold, I imagine. Yeah, it's increased because of the cold. And we don't have the resources yet. Can we get some more money off you guys? Too soon to do that again. What about the machinists? The machinists are starting to like us a little bit. It requires favorable, so we can't get it from there. Okay, so we're going to have a little think about that. We're going to need to... We're building up our housing district here. It is a warmer season, so at least we're able to use a little bit less heat, and we are stockpiling some coal. Fantastic. We are starting to run out of materials just a little bit, so we'll have to keep that in mind. But we can build another thing on that iron ore, build another coal bit here so we can start stockpile that. I'm sure we'll be absolutely fine. But looking at the time, I think we're going to probably call this part here. So thank you very much for watching. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything else you'd like to see regarding Frostpunk 2 or any of the other city builder games. And I hope you've enjoyed it so far. But until the next one, take care.